Hey everyone, Tony Walsh here. Welcome back to the channel and part 2 of our 2025-2026 onion video. We're going to try to show you from planting to harvest. So obviously this is going to be a long series. But just similar to part 1 that I posted last week, or earlier this week really, we've received our second bundle of onions. If you remember the first bundle, I'm not going to tell you, you just go back and watch it. I'll put a card up here in the corner. But we've got, as I said, we got our second batch of onions from Hoss. And in full disclosure again, we are an affiliate of Hoss. So if you use my link that is in the description of this video and will be pinned in the first comment, if you use that link, we can make a few pennies. So if you want to help a friend out, if you buy anything from Hoss, please use my link. Until the end of November, there's 2 links, one for anything Hoss and one for onions. So you can buy the onions off the other one, but they just use it for tracking. So there's 2 links. If you're buying onions, use one link. If you're buying anything else from Hoss, use the other link. So here's the box that they come in. So it's just taped up. You can see it's breathable right here. It tells the shipper, and they're using FedEx, tells them there's live plants in there, so they just got it taped up. I pulled the tape off already, or actually Jackie did. So here we have a bunch of, these are the SoFire Red, and these are the Texas Super Sweets. So right there. Also inside the box comes a card, just thanking you for the purchase, but it also comes with a QR code for an onion growing guide. Comes with another QR code to watch helpful tips for other products. Then a QR code that talks about fertilizer. So Hoss is a great customer service orientated business. So to me, you can't go wrong dealing with them. So we're going to get these spread out, and then we'll talk about them a little bit more in that opening clip. So what we're going to do is, these come in a bundle, and there is a regular rubber band and then a black band. So first thing you want to do is get these things taken apart to where they can air out a little bit. So there's the black rubber band. Here's the regular rubber band. So now they've already given these. I'm assuming they've already given these a haircut because they're chopped pretty level. So I'm just going to get these spread out to where they can breathe. I'm going to time lapse you for all this, and I'm going to do the same thing for the SoFire Reds. This, again, the rubber band, the black rubber band, but then it also on the black band it gives you a tag that gives you the planting information on the back. And we'll talk more about that when we get to planting them in the bed. So let me stop this clip and let's do some time lapsing, because this is going to take me a minute or two. And I tell you what, I'll just spend a minute or two with you. We're going to do that. So let me get these right here. Don't know if you can see this end of the table, but we'll come back and show you. Like I said, these act like they got the haircut on the top, but they left the roots on the bottom. Some people would trim these off, but don't trim them to the bottom of the bulb. But Jackie likes to leave them on there, so we're going to leave them on there. We grew onions for the first time last year, and were very successful with it, and we're pleased with it. Especially since, we had snow in South Georgia, which we get about every 10 years. So the onions that we had, and I do not remember the variety of them, like I say, we were ecstatic with the results. So, but we only planted enough that left us, or that provided us onions for maybe a couple of months. So we're really going overboard this year with 4 varieties, and we're going to have at least 200 plants. So hopefully we get 200 onions. Because we like to, well, Jackie and them will eat raw onions in their salads and stuff like that. I don't, but I do like onions cooked in my food. It's one of those, I love the taste of cooked onions. And these things are stuck together. These root balls have really got stuck. So now I wish I would have time-lapsed. But if you watched part 1, we got our Vidoras in our Texas Early White, as I think of them. Got them planted. Honestly, I'm not getting home before dark now, and I leave right before daylight. So what I've seen of them at night, they look like they're doing well. And in this part 2, I'll give you an update of the onions we planted in part 1. But like part 1, these onions come in various sizes, and again, I'll show you that in just a minute, which means the bulbs are, some are big, some are small. And I was watching on the Haas video on row by row that when they pick these, they just go grab a handful, and they know their handful is at least 50, and that's how you order these, is in bundles of 50. Now, they got good on it because on one of my bundles last week, it had 54, and the other one had 62 or 63. But I remember Greg from Haas saying that he counted a handful. I believe he counted a handful, and I think it had 70-something in it. So lucky is the person that paid for 50 and got 76. But again, that's the kind of company the Haas is. You know, they're wanting to make sure their customers are well satisfied. Now these, both these bunches, I know they've been through a couple of frosts because Haas is not that far from me in South Georgia. So if I've had a couple of frost days, I know they've had a couple of frost days as well. So I'm saying, you know, good job with these. Now, last year's onions we planted from seed. So this is our first year doing the bulbs. All right, so I have them. Get that out of the way. Maybe you can see more down here. Now, the SoFire Red is bigger than these Texas Super Sweets. And we're going to do some more discussion in that probably in part 3. I don't think I'll do that discussion in part 2. I think I'll save that for part 3 to discuss the sizes in all four varieties that we have. You know, that's really why I like to do a lot of time lapsing, because right now I'm struggling with what to talk about, and I know y'all just don't want to sit here and watch me do this table. And all of these are going in metal raised beds. We've already got the dirt prep for it. Again, onions like a pH of 6 to 6.5, if my memory serves me correctly, and we have that. And we're just using a mixture of, well, in these two beds, it's a mixture of, I put pecan leaves in the bottom of it just as a filler. Instead of using, you know, going hugelkultur type, you know, and using sticks and limbs and stuff like that, I just used a bunch of pecan leaves that we had up, and I run them through a shredder to give it more surface area, and then it'll turn into fertilizer, compost on its own. Of course, and then we use the black cow manure and Miracle Grow potting soil. Now, I don't get anything from Miracle Grow or Black Cow. That's just our preference to use. We have used some other brands, and you know, you can read the ingredients on all of them and they say the same thing, but for some reason I just like the way the Black Cow and the Miracle Grow looks. You know, to me they're darker blends, and to me it just looks like they're richer. So again, that's just my preference, or our preference. Looking at her to see if it sounds like somebody's pulling up outside. If you can see this bench behind me, I don't know how old that is. I think it come from the old Rollerson Methodist Church. It might have come from the Black Sheriff First United Methodist Church. I'm not sure which one, but it's old. All right, so got them all spread out. And remember I said we buy them in bundles of 50. So the Texas Super Sweet has if my math is right, I have 83. So I bought 50. So Greg, if you watch this, your handful of 76, I think is what you said, is turned into 83 for the Texas Super Sweet. So thank you for the extra onions. Now let's count the SoFire Reds. $76. So we're 76 on the SoFire Reds and 83 if I remember correctly. Most of the SoFire Reds are pretty uniform in size. There is a couple of small ones, but again, with the extra, see, just like these two right here. Don't know if you can tell. Hey, to me, this was given to me free, so I don't care. Got the same thing down there, but again, hey, they say an extra, so you can't look a gift horse in the mouth. So these are out here. I'm actually filming this on Friday evening, November 21st. So we hope we get these in the dirt Saturday morning, November 22nd. So when we get back together, it'll be daylight and we'll be in the garden. Okay, that time lapse was only 40 seconds long, so it didn't take long to plant them. But we had some extra space in this bed. So this bed has the 3/4 Vidor and then a 1/4 of the SoFire Red. And then this is the rest of the SoFire Red here. And then here we have the Texas Super Sweet in all of that bed, part of that bed, and part of that bed. Now, if you're asking why, you know, why did we plant them partials in that bed and not just fill this bed up? It's a good question. But we're just trying to keep all of our onions together, and then this really gives us a spot to plant something else there too. So it just keeps us in flow with our watering and our fertilizing, because looking at it from this view, our onions are all in a row. Even though they're different varieties, you know, they're going to be fertilized the same, they're going to be watered the same. So it just keeps all that intact, where if I would have left part of a bed up there and planted something different, you know, if it has different fertilizer requirements, different water requirements, then it just makes it a little bit harder or more aggravating to take care of. So this way all of our onions are together. And again, the varieties we have are the SoFire Red, Texas Super Sweets, Vidoras to the right, and Texas Early Whites to the left. So that is our part 2 of our onion video. Hope you've enjoyed part 2. Part 3 is going to be more of an informational and a update on our onions. So my part 1 was last Monday. Part 2 is this Saturday. Part 3 is probably going to be in a couple weeks. So hope you enjoyed. If you got any questions, leave them below. I'll try to answer it. Remember, if you're looking for plants, looking for seeds, looking for tools, go to Hoss, growhoss.com. And remember, in this video there is a link in the description. There will be a link in the first pinned comment. Help a family out by using our link so we can make a few pennies. Until we get back together, y'all take care and God bless.